Yeah. So, hey, one thing we'll do is I'll go ahead and time you guys out and say, hey, that's enough. And then we can go ahead and move forward. But Edward, if you want to continue with your question, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was about to finish what I was about to say. Like I was saying that, like maybe telling student about food. Trust me, because they love food. When we have food, oh my God, they'd be running like, whoa, yes, student government have food. So, and all I'm gonna say is just communication. Let's communicate with students effectively. So yeah, that's it. That's all I was about to say. Go ahead.
All right. Good. Then let's go ahead and move forward. So we do want to get students involved and we do want to utilize what tools that we have. What is one way that you're different from your competitors? Edward, doesn't necessarily apply to you because you
I'm good.
are uncontested, but for our speakers of the house, as VP, anyone who does have competition, what separates you from the person you're running against?
Okay, how many minutes do I have, by the way?
I'll give you two.
2 minutes?
Okay. Yep. Two.
Okay,
All
2
right.
minutes.
Go ahead.
Starting right now. All right.
Yep.
So, well, actually, I've proven that I'm very good at doing multiple things at the same time. I am an international student, so I'm required to take at the very least 12 credit hours. So I am a full student. I'm also a member of over 11 organizations. I'm active with all of them, and I have been managed to be successful with all of them. I've been able to help SGA do a lot of their success, and I also in Pi Theta Kappa managed to get the Member of the Year through Richland and also through the region, Texas region. So I know how to be active through regarding how busy I am. I know how to manage my time. I know how to communicate with people, get things done. I know how to speak 5 languages, so I can communicate with a lot of people also. And how much time do I have?
You have a minute.
Oh, good stuff. I'm very creative. I believe that anyone who is in some sense engaged with me, they know that I'm actually able to meet you at where your understanding is. I'm not just gonna go through my knowledge. I'm gonna actually focus a lot of time, get to know you and how I can reach you. So I'm not gonna just be working on my style. I'm gonna make sure that I can work whatever is best for you. So
All right.
there's that.
Good. Good. All right. And then we have
Isra.
Okay. There we go.
All right, 2 minutes starts now. Alrighty, so what sets me apart is basically I am an international student as well. I also speak 3 languages. I am very diverse when it comes to culture because I am a Pakistani citizen studying in America as an international student, but I grew up in the Middle East. So in Middle East is a very wonderful mix of concoction when it comes to cultures and understanding and community. So what sets me apart from my competition is that I have very successfully been able to keep our chapter as a 5-star chapter. Of course, none of it has been a single-handed effort. I have learned how to kind of engage our officers enough for us to achieve our goals. I'm very goal-oriented. I'm a result-oriented person. I will do whatever needs to be done to ensure that we hit our target instead of changing or modifying our target. I am a very ambitious person. From the beginning of my term as the chapter president last year, I had set my eyes on all the awards that we could qualify for, all the awards that we could get our hands on. And thankfully, I am very happy to report and say that I have successfully been able to motivate our team enough and coordinate with our team enough so that we qualified and received 14 to 15 different awards. One of those was being a part of the friendliest chapter within Texas, which made me super happy because I didn't think I was a friendly person at all. But thanks to the relationship I had been able to develop with the other chapter presidents, and that energy kind of just flowing down to our officers and then by virtue to our members, it was an amazing experience that I had. Additionally, I will say that in a lot of ways, when it comes to me and leadership, I never chase titles. I am truly someone who believes in service as a service leader. And so I will ensure in making sure that every single thing that I do eventually benefits the student who's being involved with me or the person who is engaged with me. So
Okay.
I believe that is my answer and my
All
time.
right, you're good. You're good. All right, let's go on to Nabila.
What sets me apart, I would say, is that I'm very passionate about people and very passionate about change. I want to be the voice of the people by the people. So what I think how I could do that is because I'm very adaptable. Like I will adapt to any circumstance, any person, any change. And so I think that would help me when it comes to communicating with the student body at Richland and also my other fellow officers. I would say I just get along with everybody really good, and I'm really very relatable, which would help us get more participants in SGA.
All right,
That's it.
is that it? All right, then we're good. All right, next candidate.
So I'll try to make it under 2 minutes.
You're good. You're good.
To start with, I'm a very much people's person. Every time I'm with friends around people, I usually find myself I'm not gloating or boasting. It's the virtue of God and the kind people around me. I do find myself the center, and I just have that impression that I've developed myself into, because I used to be a severely introverted person where I did not speak to anyone. And now if you look at me, you're going to say, wow, who's that person? Where did he come from? So I do tend to leave a remark on people that, hey, this person has his own gravity. So what sets me apart exactly is that I've been to more than 4 different countries, which means I understand many different cultures. I'm adaptable. I can form myself into the situation that is thrown onto me. And as Speaker of the House, there will be many conflicts between where the administration does not want to release funds and it is vital for the specific groups or organizations' functionality. So I am pretty good at problem solving, conflict solving, and working at a law firm full time on top of being a full-time student. I take more than 14 credit hours, which is required because I am an international student as well. So aside from my legal battles for my status, aside from my full-time student education, aside from my full-time work, I still find and make time for the people who need me, especially friends, family, and those who support me. And those are some of my qualities that set me apart, that make me stand out in a crowd. And working at a law firm does come with, I'll just stop there.
You're good. All right, time's up. Thank you, though. All right, next candidate.
I mean, I don't got no opponent, but I'm just gonna say, well, I'm a people's person. I'm a student's person. I mean, I'm fun. I'm easy to work with, and whoever wins, hope I can work with them. Whoever win the vice president, the speaker of the house, they will also work with me and work with each other and have the understanding that we're here for the students, not for them, not for themselves or not for ourselves. We're here for the students. So yeah, I'm just a fun guy.
Good. All right, you're good, Edward. All right, so there are ways that we do want to move forward with these problems and dilemmas and kind of changing how campus works. What would happen if we did come across a problem where our project stops completely? Administration has said this is our ruling, but it's something that truly affects our campus and our students. How would you guys go about making sure that you take care of your students first over kind of those regulations?
Okay.
Wait,
My turn,
sorry,
right?
can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Okay.
Repeat the question,
So,
please.
yes. So if you guys are coming across a problem where SGA has a certain project, and let's say the administration doesn't quite agree with what you guys are doing, how do you handle that problem and move forward?
Okay, that's a good question.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Well, I am not sure if I understand completely your question. Okay, but we do plan for that in the exhibition and event management course, because you're not supposed just to have one plan. Okay, so you're supposed to be able every time that you are assessing one plan to go to forward to whatever you want to do as a management major, you're supposed to have several plans. So in case that you do not go toward with one of them, you should be having alternative. So hopefully we don't get into that position that we just get stopped because we were unable to plan ahead. So for my case, I will make sure that we are not just going to be having one plan. We're going to be having multiples. And also you should be also knowing what are the priorities that we're supposed to be working, what things when you're negotiating are not droppable, and what can we kind of like give out, so to speak. So I do believe that in terms of dealing with this type of situation, I've been doing it a lot. So I know that we are prepared for it, uh, first of all. Second, as a student voice, all those priorities are going to be directed depending on what we hear from the students. So our best way is the one, if hopefully we don't get to face the situation, we get to do that, we are going to have to like come together and speak a little bit more of how we want to negotiate together as a chapter, and then we go back. But just we have to have certain things that we are not going to give up, and we have handled
Good.
this situation a little bit before. So that's it.
Good. All right. Next candidate.
Alrighty. Okay. So I've actually faced this issue with CAB spring of 2018, which was last year. We were preparing for our CAB end of semester bash, and it ended up, our plan kept changing no matter how many contingencies we kept. Our plan kept changing because our budget kept fluctuating, and that was something that was out of our control. Our advisor did feel that she was putting us in a situation where we might get disheartened or something like that, but thankfully we weren't, because each one of us at that time was adaptable. I was a student coordinator back then. I am a student coordinator at CAB right now as well. And the key aspect that I've seen is that when you, as in a position of leadership, don't lose hope and always have contingencies and always know your strengths in terms of negotiation, you always have an upper hand in terms of making sure that you get what you need, not for yourself, but for your students. So we didn't negotiate on the budget because that was completely out of the question. Our advisor didn't want us doing that. What we ended up doing was we changed our plans enough for it to work for the budget. And I'm not saying we should every time change that plan, but having contingencies, negotiating properly, and then researching how it impacts the students should it not go the way you're planning it to go, to kind of let the administration know that, hey, we understand why you're doing this, but you need to understand why we're doing this as well. So talking and communication, negotiations would be my key aspect in terms of addressing issues such as blockage over certain projects.
Good. Being adaptable. All right. Nabila.
Okay, as a speaker, I will make sure that we look at all possible scenarios before we plan the event. And like Ferdy said, we'd have a plan B and a plan C if needed. So I would make sure that we work with what we have and make sure, first of all, that this kind of, like whatever kind of event we're planning, it would be okay. We would check beforehand with the higher ups that we could do something like this, and just make with what we have, make do with what we have. That's what I would do.
Good. All right. Next candidate.
So that's a great question, Adrian. First thing and first is, when you're in a position, you need to know how to solve a conflict. And as study has shown, any conflict can be resolved just by simple communication. When you know, because as Speaker of the House, as mentioned before, I will be mediating two different parties, the students and the administration. When I know why the administration is stopping or saying no to a specific project, and if I can get to the why of it, why they're doing this, maybe it's just a venue that doesn't suit the administration, and that's why they're shutting down the project. So it's a simple fix. As soon as you get down to the why, you don't necessarily have to have negotiated anything. It is good to have a plan B and a plan C and however many plans you want, but as priority task, your plan A should be your most the thing that you're going after the most. It should be your first priority. So asking the why and trying to resolve the conflict instead of butting heads, that's the way to go to resolving or to finding a solution to anything. Thank you.
Good. All right, Edward.
Yes. I will start by saying this. I remember one time I was sitting here, just watching. It was a weekend. I was watching a documentary on National Geographic Channel, and it was about the 9/11 attack, and it was George Bush speaking, and he said he quoted a quote that I till today, I really resonate, saying as a leader, as a president or a king of any country or any organization, it's your duty to stay calm. So as a president, I will stay calm and make sure all my officers and the students stay calm and find other options that we can use to make sure the event or the resolution or whatever it is, because like you just said, maybe the venue is not comfortable for the for the students. 1 minute, okay. And I remember during the summer, and uh, I remember Kelly can testify when we were having a fundraising. We were thinking about having a car snatch, and there was an old car that Richard had that was like way old. So I wrote it down and I explained, and Kelly and I explained it. Was it about the safety and all? But they said no. I mean, we didn't get mad. I said okay. I kept calm and I spoke to the rest of the office. I said, hey, what can we also do? And I had other options. Then I kind of decided, I said, okay, this is what we're gonna do, and that's it. I would just say keep calm and find different options. And as president, that's what I'm gonna do. Continue to do. So yeah.
Good. Nice. All right. I've got a couple more questions for y'all. If y'all have anything else that you feel needs to be addressed, then let's go ahead and pitch that in afterwards. But let's go ahead and move forward. So I know the big eyesore right now is the pandemic. How are you guys going to be able to connect with students besides social media? Because some may not have access to internet and they may be kind of on their own. Are there ways you're able to reach out and get them involved with SGA?
Okay, well, that's an interesting question since we are already pretty much doing it right now. We have been helping students all throughout the district to get in contact with their professors already. Of course, it's a little bit limited, and sometimes if the students do not have our communication, like our contact information, but if this pandemic happened again or something like that, it will be up to us to be more prepared. Like, for example, actually have in advance for students to have as much as they can all these sources of communication, whether they have computers or cell phones or anything. There should be also always a way to communicate with us, because Richland College, well, not Richland College only, but the whole DCCD do have services for all the students to continue their education completely online. And we can facilitate this information if we have access to them, but if they don't have access to us, it's impossible. So that's actually part of like what we are trying to do right now to increase the communication with the students, the participation and all that, that we will end up making that a little bit more possible. Also, in terms of interactions with the students and like kind of raising the morale, we are also already doing a lot of events online. We are like doing like Netflix parties. We are doing like awareness, town hall meetings, and all that is going on like right now. I understand that most students are not being aware of it because they're kind of like struggling trying just to get used to this new method of education that we just kind of got put in it, sort of speak. But I do believe that we are doing it. And since this is very new, but in case it happen again, I know that we're going to be completely more ready, because this taught us a lot of what our deficiencies have been. So that help us get prepared and plan ahead of how to make sure that it doesn't happen like this in the future.
Good. All right. Next candidate.
All right. So I believe internet, yes, it's a wonderful resource, but there are those individuals who don't have access to it. Yes, the district can sometimes provide them with assistance, or at some point that assistance becomes very limited. There would be more individuals who are inflicted with that dilemma of not having internet access, because if you have access, you basically have connection. So for those of our individuals that don't have access to the internet, I think a more direct version of communication would be communal communication. So a friend of a friend communicating and checking up on them seems to be a better network, because at the end of the day, we are a community college. Our foundations are built on communities, and we need to ensure that as students, we're making sure that we're checking up on each other as a neighborly courtesy, and we're making sure that we're aware of each other's circumstances enough to not intervene or not make them feel awkward, but enough to know when to step in when they need help. So I think a communal-based communication style should be a more effective way, where if your friend doesn't have access to the internet, but he's also a friend of someone else, you can extend a courtesy and say that, hey, I know he's your friend, but I have this resource. Do you think he'll mind if I share it with him, or if I give it to him? So that's my answer to the question.
Good. All right. Nabila.
I would say, well, right now for this pandemic, the district is providing us with hotspots and laptops and lower cost laptops and stuff like that. But even then, if somebody does not have internet access, I feel like we could do something where we have like a SGA, like a student friendly hotline. So where people could text us, basically with anything that they need or they want, and we could text them back and inform them of stuff that's going on, what they might be missing out, and how we could help them. And also what Isra said, I feel like that will work too, except that's like a slower method of communication, word by like friend of a friend of a friend. We could do that, but I feel like during these times, a hotline would like work better.
Good. All right. Next candidate.
That's how, I mean, during this pandemic, I have many friends who don't have resources, so we cannot stay in touch due to on social media or anything. So what we're doing, as I'm part of the street team, I'm related to the entire district and hence their resources. So what we've done is we have purchased on the district's budget some Wi-Fi hotspots, some laptops, and some used cell phones. We do have a limited number for now, but this is our contribution to getting as many students involved. The initial plan was to only target those who don't have any of these resources, but now we're expanding that. So this is one of the easiest ways, in my opinion, but to some level, everyone has at least a phone number. What the district has started doing is that we started contacting people that, for example, my friend, he wasn't attending class. So I just rang him up. I called his number. I mean, it's an obsolete thing nowadays to text or call the phone number outside of maybe FaceTime, Snapchat, or something like that. But it does come in handy. I called him and he was like, oh yeah, I don't have Wi-Fi. So I told him, hey, our school is giving out laptops and some Wi-Fi dongles, so you might want to check up on them. And now we're working in class together. So I think communicating in person, of course, maintaining your 6 feet distance, making sure you have proper gloves, masks, and everything, and then approaching the person to get to them and see if everything's okay and trying to get them involved.
Good. All right. Next candidate.
Wow, that's a good question. I mean, in this pandemic has, as you guys know, it struck everybody, me in general, all the students, and I mean, what all the other candidates have said is true. You know, the district has been providing, enough resources, and as well for student government, us we have Zoom. So I would say we can create a Zoom, for all students to be communicating with, like how we are communicating right now, because we don't see each other in school, so we can create it like a big Zoom account where it can fit about 20 or more people that they can communicate, or maybe create a group me or something, or as right now, as recently, I was said, they can also, if they have Instagram, that's why this point is nice, sweet, thank you. Instagram, they can also go to the SGA account and just see our live video, see what we talked about, give them updates, and so on and so forth. And also my weekly emails that I will send out. Hopefully, all the students receive this. So pretty much, yeah, that's all I would say.
Good. All right. So that kind of wraps up the questions that I have personally. Kelly, this is kind of targeted a little bit towards you. What kind of resources can students find or email message to be able to contact you guys, and where can they vote?
The elections will actually take place next Tuesday and Wednesday, so the 21st and 22nd. It will be on Thunder Duck Commons, which is part of eCampus. All you do is log into your eCampus, and it should be under Communities, and you should see it. Then you scroll down on the left-hand side, you will see Student Government, and then you click that, and then you click a link that says Elections. And then everything in there will be self-explanatory, and these videos, I should say, will be in there as well. What was the other half of the question?
Oh, where can they vote?
Where can they vote? Okay,
where can they, is there any place they can reach out, like social media or just kind of emails that they can do to contact to be a part of student government or kind of, participate?
Well, they can always email me. My email is on the website, and my name is Kelly Sonnenstein. You can see it written there on the screen. Or you can find us on Instagram and Facebook. Instagram is at, somebody help me, Edward, what do we sign in as? You're muted.
RLC.
RLC.SGA, that's what
Yeah.
it is. SGA, I think it's still called 1819.
1819. It has the 1819 there.
Yeah.
What we can probably do is post links to it.
Yeah, we'll put links to it, definitely. And then all of these guys will have their campaign information on the Thunder Duck Commons, and that will have all of their individual social media links on there as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. And if you need employee emails, also under Richland's website, they do have the employee directory, and you can type in Kelly Sonnenstein and that'll give you an email there. But so far, do you guys have any other comments that you guys want to put in?
Well, I just want to say good luck to all the candidates. This is my endorsement to all of you guys. I endorse all of you guys. Good luck. Have fun. Work hard. Show students why you guys deserve this election. So good luck. Yeah.
I'll just chime in real quick. Adrian, with your last question directed to the candidates about how we can get reach out to the students who don't necessarily have social media, it really got me thinking, because I usually stay off the grid. I don't have much social media, nor do I use it as much. So it got me thinking that if a student is in class, which means they have eCampus. If they have eCampus, which means we have the district. The district has access to their email. So God forbid anything happens, they can always be reached out to. We can always reach out to them via email. So that was one thing that I could not answer properly, and I felt like I needed to make a comment there.
Yeah, that's welcome. You're welcome to add more information for students.
One thing that I will say is that yes, these are hard times for everyone, and I think our campaigning should allow us a very wonderful opportunity to ensure that we're not only using this chance to promote ourselves, but we're also using this chance to kind of create a feeling of warmth, basically, within our community. Because at the end of the day, we're all friends, like quite literally. We're all in the same circles, and we all want to see what's best for not only ourselves, but also the community. So let's say take this chance to promote more of SGA related things that we're planning in terms of how we want to finish up the semester. For example, there's this Chick-fil-A fundraiser going on with the current SGA team. So it would be wonderful if we as candidates could promote that a little bit. I'm not saying to dedicate your campaign to that, but chime in a little bit and say that, hey guys, this would show wonderful support if you want to vote for me. If you want to help me support SGA or whatever, please go to Chick-fil-A, support SGA so that you can support me and so on. So that's all I'd like to add.
Good. All right. Any other comments? We
I
good?
do have one.
Okay.
I have one. Well, first of all, good luck, everyone. It has been really a very good, interesting experience. This is speaking to you all and everyone who is listening. This is actually very important. So please vote if you hear this. Yes, Shane, I'm also speaking to you. But I also want to kind of like seize the moment to also speak about something that it has been more important now than it was ever before. Like I've been trying to work with the Richland College on a project that is to support the students with better education mentally and emotionally, because I do believe that our campus requires to do something better in there for our students. And right now we see a lot of our students are like just suffering a lot because of it, because they still need to learn better how to manage their own emotions and how to have different ways of how to handle themselves, like when they're struggling. So I do believe that this is, Mr. President, a good moment to start implementing a better program to support a better mental and emotional education for all campuses, not just Richland College, but the whole DCCD, because it is really hard to see how these students are not coping well with this situation. That's pretty much it.
Good. And we do have resources for students who are kind of in a bad place right now. Those are there. They're a little bit hidden. They are on the website if you do need them though.
Yeah, I would say I would say that's a good idea, Fernando. And like I said, whoever win the vice president, the speaker of the house, we can work together and also promote not just Richland College, and also plus the whole other schools. And I can work with other SGA presidents, saying, hey, what can we do to promote, the DCCD students? And that's have been my goal for the past 2 years since I got elected last year. That was my goal, trying to work with other SGA presidents, and trying to see what can we do to promote student life in the DCCD area. And I know that me getting reelected again, I know that's gonna be my second goal in my second term as president, working with the new officers and also with the other new officers, presidents, and seeing what can we do to promote the student life, and so hopefully I can accomplish that before I leave the DCCD school, DCCD banner. So yeah, that's my plan.
Okay. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. It looks like Adrian got booted off the call for some reason. So we'll go ahead and wrap this up. I'll see you guys back in a few minutes to practice some skits, hopefully.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
Bye.
Yay. See you guys.